So yeah, vMix 28. Wow. Full report on that today in just 15 minutes or so. Well, we'll start the pre-show in 15 minutes and then the show 15 minutes after that. Well, we'll start the pre-show in 10 minutes. How about that? And then the show at the top of the hour. See you in a sec. Well, let's put that in there, shall we? Yes, indeedy. It's vMix 28 day. Actually, yesterday was vMix 28 day. But didn't we call that like 2 weeks ago that vMix would release version 28 on January 28th? They did, but it was early in the morning for us. It was just, regular day for them. They're 15 hours ahead or 9 hours behind. No, 15 hours ahead. That's it. Yeah. So welcome. Glad you're here. And yeah, sorry about the little crash earlier. Interesting thing, vMix 28. This is the latest version, I think. Yeah, latest version. .34, which is has 2 small changes in it from .33, which was the last beta. Anyway, I was adjusting the audio in Windows, which plays on my TV in front of me, and it went crackly, and then vMix went pow. It disappeared right in the middle of the live stream. So I sent in an error report, and I'll follow it up with an email. If you ever have a problem and you want to contact vMix, make sure you send in an error report that's on the in settings on the About page, and then follow it up with an email that includes your key, your vMix registration key. That way they can match your registration key up with the email, and you can describe what the problem is. And they're really, really great at looking into that kind of stuff. Sometimes it'll take a day or two because there's the time difference. But yeah. So vMix 28 is here. It is cram-packed with features. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many features are in it. I had a list here somewhere. Let's see if I can find my list. No, who knows? Who knows what I've done this time? But I do have a list. Hold on a second. We're gonna pull it up right here. Yeah. There it is. And there was a great video that Martin did a couple of days ago. If you guys haven't seen it, I want to go ahead and play it now. So let's see. Let's go. Should have had it ready. That's the story of my life, isn't it? Sorry about that. Let's go to history, because I was looking at it just a minute ago. And it's a real quick video. It's only a couple of minutes. But let's see if we can put it here and share it, copy it, go into vMix, add a web browser input, paste the URL, bring it in here, put it right there, pause it, full screen it, bring it back to, and turn on the audio. And yeah, here is Martin Sinclair very quickly describing all of the goodies, or most of the goodies, in vMix 28.
vMix 28 has just been released, and in this video I'll talk about all the new features. First, a new Telestrator has been added, which can be accessed by any modern web browser, including iPads, tablets, laptops, and phones. It includes a low latency video feed from vMix and a number of basic drawing tools, including custom images. If Telestration isn't really your thing, it also includes 10 custom shortcut buttons below the video feed, allowing operators to delegate tasks quickly and easily. This Telestrator is available in the 4K Pro and Max editions of vMix. Next, we've added an additional MultiView output with its own unique configuration to the 4K Pro and Max editions. A number of new MultiView options have been added, including the ability to show a mix input and change the audio meter source. Speaking of mix inputs, we've now added the ability to display overlays and stingers within mix inputs as well. This can be customized via shortcuts to display in multiple mixes and the output at the same time. There's also now a new Flatten Layers checkbox in the input settings. This is a quick way to combine all layers together when doing things like cropping without needing a dedicated mix input. We've also increased the number of streaming destinations from 3 to 5. New playback time triggers are also available, allowing you to configure actions to occur at specific times during video or list playback. We've added a bunch of improvements to audio, including the ability to capture a single app's audio or the entire system audio with built-in mix minus. It's also now easier than ever to configure audio buses, with the ability to display smaller buttons of every single bus within each audio mixer. Finally, there's a lot more that's new in vMix 28 which I haven't covered here, but you can find out all the details by visiting the download page at vmix.com. vMix 28 is a free update for Mac subscribers and anyone that purchased since January of 2023. For everyone else, it is a $60 upgrade. If you haven't used vMix before, you can also try the free, fully functional 60-day trial by visiting our website at vmix.com. Thanks for watching, and stream you later.
There we go. There we go.
5 words you pronounce wrong.
Hold on.
2 years before.
You know, you put these tools in the hands of idiots, and what do you get? You get trouble. You get trouble, but it's just so much fun. It is so much fun. So, vMix 28, we've been waiting for vMix 28 for 3 months since the first beta came out, and before that we were waiting. The Telestrator, of course, is in a lot of ways, it's the big feature, although a lot of people will argue with me and say, oh, well, you know, I've been waiting for Flatten forever. But in my little world, Telestrator, that's why we've spent 2.5 shows on that previously. So we're not going to go through the Telestrator today, other than to say that it really does work, and it works really well. And the problems that I had with it were all on me. They were I really needed to update the BIOS in my Microsoft Surface Pro 6, I think it was, which is an older version. And then everything just worked like a champ. So yeah, but I wanted to run through some of the other features today because I think they're going to be fun for everybody. Let's see, let's go back here and go back here. 1 second, trying to get the decks clear so I can be where we need to be here on this. And yeah, we're live now. There we go. Okay. So the MultiView is kind of fun, and I think we've talked a little bit about that. But let me bring that up again. We're going to do a little desktop capture here, and then we'll bring in. Can we capture the other screen? Yeah, we'll do that in just a second. So we're going to go into settings and into outputs, and then down here is the multi-view section. And currently I've got it set for the 4x4 grid, and I'm going to customize it. And I customized it, and Heath has got a great video on this, which you ought to look at. But what I did is I said click to enable click to select input. So I've got a multi-view over here that I can actually use as a switcher, which I really like. And also to get it to show inputs only. So I get actually 16 inputs. It won't do the preview and the output. And so you can see all the things that I've got currently configured in it. Some of it's just junk, but some of it's important. And let's see if we can do a screen capture here so that you can see it. So we'll add input. We'll do a desktop capture. Let's do display 2. Is that going to be what it is? Yeah, that's display 2. And so this is my multi-view. And I basically picked out some things that I thought were kind of important in it. I picked out my main and my over-the-shoulder look. I've got another camera that I must have disconnected to test. And then my pre-show and post-show. And I can move all of those into, move those into preview. You can see how the color changes at the top to tell me I'm in preview. And I've got, here's the preview that I just made earlier with the green screen behind, so you can see that. Basically, I just took the picture that was back there and covered it up with some green fabric, nothing fancy. I've got down here, number 16 is my guest show view, so that a guest can see whatever's going on. They got a picture of me, a picture of them, the show time, the local time, and then whatever the stream output is, and then some space at the bottom for some other things. Whoa, need to turn that off. Sorry about that. And then I can modify that however I want. Let's put myself back in preview, and we'll go back to this. And I can modify that so that I can change the inputs. I can change the format. It's got lots of power with it. Well, let's look at it one more time. Let's see, where are we? Where's our desktop? There we go. So we'll go back into that. And I love the 16 input. That's beautiful. And since I can have two of them, MultiView 2, I can set up as another 16 input, and I can put 16 more. So I can have 32 inputs. Let's see, we'll do that one and that one. I can have 32 inputs on two monitors and essentially have those all available, and have those available as a switcher as well. So basically, MultiView 1 and MultiView 2, I would have full screen 1, which would be one screen, full screen 2, which would be the other screen. And then here, I would select the MultiView and MultiView 2. Display 1 would be MultiView, display 2 would be MultiView 2. And that would give me two more screens of vMix that would be available as a switcher. And then of course I've got my vMix interface. And then if I was doing replay or something else like that, I would have a fourth monitor set up for replay. So lots of value there. Lots of value there. Yep. Really looking forward to it. And it's fun to play with new stuff. Fun to play with new stuff. Okay. So we looked at briefly, I guess 2 weeks ago, because remember last week we got snowed out. Here I am, kind of short sleeves today, but last week was 8 inches of snow on the ground, and we just don't do snow. We don't do snow. But vMix added the ability in your mix inputs, and let me go back to the desktop capture here. Yep, and right down here is a mix input. That's mix number 5. And that could be set up with a stinger. Let's see, let's bring that one into preview. Come on. Oh, I can't click on that picture. I have to click on that picture. We'll bring it into preview. And then do we have a stinger for it? Yeah. So it basically is going to switch back and forth between those two inputs in that input. But it will also do an overlay. And trying to remember how to do it now. I think it was in a shortcut. So let's see, let's go up to shortcuts and let's add a shortcut, and we'll make it the 1 key. I don't think I'm using that one. Or better yet, let's make it the 1 key on the keyboard, on the number pad. And the function is going to be in overlays, and we'll just overlay input 1 off and on, and we'll use come on, we need a zip file here, guys. Lower third blank. We'll use the lower third blank, and we'll assign that to mix 5. All right, and it'll be a local shortcut only, and that is number pad 1. So if I do a number pad 1, we're going to get that. Oops, and that's the wrong person, but that is from our little mix down here, and I can set that on and then take it live. That's not me, that's just the last guest. It's been a while since we've had somebody on live. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll take that off with the one key. Boom, there we go. And we probably ought to go back and get rid of that shortcut before we have it forever. Oh golly, what do we do? It's around here somewhere. We'll worry about it later. How about? Oh, find. Yeah, there we go. Number pad 1. There it is. Number pad 1 is play pause. Well, let's get rid of that. Let's find it again. Sorry about that. Little quick housekeeping here. Number pad 1. There it is. Overlay. That's the one we want to get rid of. Yes. Good. All right. So we're good there. We're good there. The other thing that I think is pretty cool is that now you can, without having to use a virtual audio cable, you can capture Windows audio. So let's try that. Let's go into add input, and we're going to go an audio input. And in this case, well, there we go. Application audio. Application audio. And now we can pick which application we want to use. So in this case, I probably would pick Chrome browser because it's got something in it. What's it got in it? Let's see, we can put the live stream in it. Or we can put a live stream in it. Let's do that. We've got a YouTube video there. And so now here I've got, well, it's blank. But if I bring up a video with audio, I've now brought just the audio into vMix. Now you may hear a little bit of an echo because it's playing on my speaker up here as well. But that is a great way to bring in just audio. Let's take that guy out before he causes us any problems right there. And we'll go back to our feature list. According to this, I haven't checked this out, but according to the vMix list, it captures audio from Windows and automatically excludes the audio in vMix, so it's a mix minus. So that's really good. And there's a new one called Playback Timers that allows us to put a trigger into a video to have something happen at some point in that video, either at a particular time or at a particular time from the end. So if we've got a 5-minute video, we can say, hey, we want this logo to appear here, or this URL to appear here, 3 minutes from the end of the video. Or we can say, starting at the beginning of the video, we can say we want this logo to appear 1 minute in. So let's see if I've got a video here that we can try that with. Do we have some live video? Yes, we do. But let's see if we can bring in something that's a little better. Yeah, here we go. This is a basketball game. So we've got our basketball game there, and we're going to make a trigger. Let's restart that. Yeah, it's back at the beginning. We'll make a trigger that says on playback time, let's do an overlay. We'll do overlay 1 again. And that will have, what did we decide our good overlay was? Do we have one here? There's a side-by-side lower third. All right, that'll try. So we want to do that, and the time is going to be, let's see, let's don't do an hour. Let's do 15 seconds. We'll do 25 seconds. 25 seconds in, this is going to happen. So let's add that. If I did it right, we're going to cut to the game, and we'll wait for 25 seconds in. I should have done less than that, because now we've got a bunch of seconds of action. 10 seconds. Here comes 15. Should have done it less. My bad. Sorry about that. 19, 22, 23, 24, 25. There we go. And there it comes in. And it's just an overlay. How about that? So I'm going to turn it off, and we'll go back to the capture. But that's a playback timer. Now, a lot of people are going to be excited about. Let's go back up here. A lot of people are going to be excited about the ability to flatten layers. And so if you've got an input that's got lots of different things in it, like maybe a green screen, and it doesn't crop properly, if you flatten it, let's try this. So let's go into number 1 here, and we'll go to the General tab, and we're going to flatten layers. Don't flatten layers. Don't flatten layers. Before we do, we're just going to add a blank input, and we're going to add that number 1 as a layer. There we go. Number 1 is a layer. Why is it not showing up? What about that? That's all right. We'll use. No, we can't use that one. We got to use this one. What about the capture? Main with green screen picture. There we go. There we go. All right. So we've got this one, and if we went into to crop it, I don't think we'd be able to crop. Yeah, we're not cropping that at all, are we? Let's crop the main. That's not cropping either. Isn't this interesting? Okay, so it wasn't as easy as I thought. Maybe we flattened it. No, that shouldn't be it. Let's go back to number 1. And that's the one we flattened. So can we crop it? Still doesn't show a crop. Let's go to a layer. And let's just go to that layer. Can we crop that layer? Nope, can't crop that layer. Interesting. Position. Let's go to the layer for main screen picture. Oh, I bet, yeah. We probably couldn't crop the other one because it was covered up with something. So we'll try to crop this one. Nope, that one's not cropping either. Well, what did I break? What did I break? Check, check, check. Let's see. Let's go back to layers. Let's go back to position. We'll take the main. Can we crop the main? Nope, it's not cropping a thing. Is my cropping broken? Let's go to this camera. See if we can crop it. Yeah, all right, so cropping is working. I just don't know how to operate it. Let's take this one, the Preshow. Can we crop it? Yes, we can. Okay, that's a good example of where we would need to flatten something, because you see it just crops out that one level. Can we crop out just the camera? Yep, we can crop out the camera, but if we crop the main, it crops just, yeah. All right, well, let's try to, let's see, this is number 6, so let's add this down here. We'll add number 6 instead of that one, and see if we still have the same. Nope, now it'll crop the whole thing. That's what we wanted all along. Let's go back to layers and let's do full screen. Where's the green screen? Where's the pre-show? Pre-show with green screen. There we go. That's the one we want. Oh, and that doesn't show at all. How about that? Pre-show with green screen. Blank. Well, now, what have we done? It's right there. That one seems to be working just fine. If we want to go to positions, go to main, and we're cropping something in the background. Can't really tell what we're cropping. But let's make number 86 flat for a second and see if that's where our problem is. Boom, there we go. That one comes back. Now we've got one layer. So let's go to main. Can we crop this whole thing? Nope. Can we crop that one? Yes. But we can't crop the main. That's interesting. Won't crop anything. Well, I would assume that I am doing something wrong. But that's the pre-show. We don't want that. We want that. There we go. I would assume that I'm doing something wrong, but I'm not always doing something wrong. So yeah. So let's take a look. We'll come back to that one. The GT anchoring settings is kind of cool. Basically, it says if you've got a text box, if you've got a box with text in it and you want it to expand, it now will expand not just right to left or left to right, but it'll expand right to left. It'll expand from the center. It'll also expand, in addition to expanding down, it can expand up. And it's just a different setting that you can play with. The other things I want to show, because we're running out of time here, and my apologies for not being more prepared, is the, let's go to the desktop capture. Up here in settings, excuse me, not settings, down here in streaming, I now have the ability to stream to 5 different destinations. Now, right now, I'm not streaming to any except one. And it says YouTube 4K, and that's when we did our experiment with 4K. You remember for about 9 or 10 months, we did 4K 60. So yeah, so use those judiciously. And kind of along with that, down here in statistics in the bottom right-hand corner, we can pull up our statistics and see what we're using so far as our encoders are concerned. And here will tell us if we're using hardware or software encoders. So that's a hardware encoder for recording. There's a hardware encoder for the Telestrator, which we don't happen to be using right now. And then there is a hardware encoder, AV1, for the stream to YouTube, which is to you guys. The others here are software encoders, but you can kind of get a feel for what you've got there. It's kind of interesting to look through this. And that was, again, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the statistics section, which also gives you an overview of your entire setup. And the fact that, you know, I've got a camera that's dropping frames right here. If I have an SRT connection, they'll tell me about SRTs, and then, of course, the encoder thing. So that is the statistics section. Let's see. In the audio mixer, you can see down here, I have got one input that has all 7 plus master, all 7 buses available to me to turn off and on whenever I want to, right from here. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I can still right-click that one and show all the buttons and turn something on. And C, apparently C is the only bus I've got enabled. So let's don't show all buttons right there. So that's pretty cool. There is a setting in audio inputs. Let's see, audio. Is it setting in audio? To disable the mouse scroll wheel on the audio mixer. So if that's become a problem from you, now you can disable the mouse scroll button. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. NDI is updated. SRT is updated. Support has been added for the AJA Kona X. That might mean a lot for some of you. The StreamSpot, Tiki Live, and Twitter streaming destinations have been discontinued. And if you're using those as streaming destinations, you can still use the RTMP streaming option. Let's see. Oh, this is a pretty cool one. And this, I'll close with this one. But if we go into settings and we go to performance, it now tells us that our video card, in my case, the RTX 4070 Ti, tells me how much memory there is there, and that the resizable bar, or the rebar, as vMix calls it, has been enabled. And that typically is something that's enabled in the BIOS, but you can check and see. Let's see, where's a quick way to check and see? Let's go to our NVIDIA control panel, and let's close that one for just a second. Go back to NVIDIA control panel. Yeah, there we go. You can see that I can go to help, and I can go to system information, and it'll give me a report on my current system, and it says right here that I am using resizable bar right there. So that's good. If it said no, I'd have to go into my BIOS and enable it. And depending on your motherboard and on your video card, of course, I think it's all series 3000 and up can use resizable bar if your motherboard will do that. So it also means, let's go back to the performance tab for just a second, and most of you guys already know that. If you've got resizable bar available and it's enabled, it means that all of this memory here, 12,282 megabytes, or what is that, about 12 gigs, is available to vMix to be used as GPU memory. Now down here on the bottom of the screen, you can't see it, but you know it's there, is the GPU memory statistic, GPU mem at 1%. And that's 1% of that 12 gigs. So now I've got all 12 gigs available to me instead of just the cache that I had available before. That also means that I don't have to use this high performance mode. So we wouldn't want to use high performance mode with resizable bar. Use one or the other, but not both. So if you've got a system that doesn't support resizable bar for one reason or another, but you do have more than 3 gigs of memory, you can use the high performance output mode. Sometimes that causes problems though. So yeah. So all right. So with all that, we're going to go into the post show. But first, we're going to do the close. Here we go. All right. Let's see, what did we miss in the chat? Jesper, glad you're here. Gunnar, glad you're here. Ed, glad you're here. And we had a crash at the beginning of the show. Why is this not updating? Why is this not updating? Interesting. That is not updating. It should be updating. I wonder if somehow it got lost. Honeybees. Refresh. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it got lost when we crashed. So I did crash. And I was saying hi to Jesper and to Gunnar and to Ed. And then I switched my audio for the TV off and on in vMix crash. So I'll send in a report to vMix. And yeah, it cracked. And how does it flatten? Yeah, I don't know that I'm really sure. After all of that, you would think I would be. Good day, Bill. And then we lost audio. Oh, when did we lose audio? So we lost audio. And then a minute later, it came back. All right. Gotcha. Sorry about that, guys. Mid-Course Tennis Academy. Welcome. Glad you're here. So much value for $60. Yes. Now, some of these things you have to remember are not available. Like the Telestrator is not available unless you have vMix 4K or Pro or Max. It's not available in the basic HD or the HD version. But a lot of these others are. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Eduardo. Glad to have you here. Byron Lindsay. Good to see you, bud. I need a shortcut for virtual set speed. Oh, that's a good idea. Then you could set it on the fly really quickly. Yes. Would the new audio also allow us to make a back channel for Zoom? Conceivably it would, Kent, but I think it can be done easier than that using the Zoom integration already in vMix, and just to route that audio to a separate channel and use that channel for communication. I haven't done that with Zoom. I'll try it. I did that with vMix Call a while back, probably a year ago, in a video. And it was just a matter of, setting up a whole series of shortcuts. One of the things I wish vMix would do is simplify that process instead of having to write, 10 shortcuts to do to turn off and on, or to send a guest to the green room and join them in the green room. It would be nicer just to have a green room feature. I think I'll go back to feature requests and kind of pump that one up a little bit, because because it would be good. And it should be something that would be easier to implement than it is right now. Yes. Scripting is very good for easy streaming. Scripting is not good for anything. Scripting is hard. Don't ever use it. Click on mute headphones. Thank you. NJPP, glad to have you. It's been my pleasure. It's fun. Otis, you guys warmed up over there at all? All right. Kent says, any recommendations on when you have multiple guests and you have the border around each person, but you have to resquare each box when they aren't right in the center of their camera? Yeah, that's a problem. Well, what I tell my guests is, hey, you guys are in a box, and if you go out of that box, you're in trouble. So you need to look in the camera. Don't move your head around a whole lot. Don't go get a drink. Don't go to the bathroom. And if you go to the bathroom, remember to turn your mic off. Yeah. Hola. Tulasa from Venezuela. Welcome. Glad to have you. Eric, thank you. And Albany State, thank you. That's Eric too, I think. Bill, thank you. It's yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I wished I'd done a better job. So there you go. Steel City Streamers. I need a solution for basketball. What kind of solution? You need a streaming solution. You need a camera solution. You need an audio solution. You need a Telestrator solution. Come on, don't just tease me. Give me the whole thing. Otis says it's 76 degrees. I know. Isn't that amazing? It's like 55 degrees warmer here than it was last week. Scripting is great for forgetting what buttons are assigned while in a broadcast, creating panic. You mean my weekly experience? You'll have to unpack that one a little bit more for us, Ed. There's a lot going on in that one sentence. I have used scripting in the past, and I did use it, boy, when I first started out with vMix, because the PC I had wasn't powerful enough to run vMix and also stream. And so I set up a desktop capture on a what was it? It was an Asus gaming laptop, and captured the video and the audio from my stream on my main PC, and then used the desktop, the laptop, to stream it, and used a script from the main PC to turn the laptop off and on and do other kinds of things. It was pretty cool. All right, Steel City gives us more details. I need a way to get vMix audio to everyone at once instead of the TD producer listening to program audio and the announcers listening to the audio board. Ah, okay. All right. So, yeah, the program audio, when it comes out of the headphones jack on a PC, is generally coming out of vMix, is generally delayed slightly, enough if you're hearing both of them to drive you crazy. And depending on the audio board you've got, some audio boards or audio interfaces, you said audio board, I assume you mean a mixer, but I have an audio interface that plugs in USB. It's the Behringer UMC 404 HD, which allows me to take the mic input. The mic goes into the Behringer, and then the Behringer USB sends its audio into vMix, but simultaneously vMix can send its audio into the Behringer, and then that can be monitored there in real time, faster than what vMix would be able to process it through Windows through to the headphone jack or the line out jack. So all right, what else is he saying? Let's see here. Here's what happens when we roll, breaks, the TD producer hears it, but the talent never hears it. Yeah. Yep, you just need to route the talent's audio. Or you could just take an output from the PC and send it to the audio board as a mix minus. See, it gets a little complicated at that point, so that they get to hear what's coming in from the PC, but that the PC's audio doesn't double back to the PC from the audio board. Yeah, give me a call sometime. I'd be happy to share my ignorance on audio with you in that regard. It's not as easy as it might sound, and in other ways, it's much easier than I make it seem. So, so there. So there you go. You got it. What else is good? What did I miss? I missed a ton of stuff. But vMix 28 is there. Go download it. If you've never used vMix before, you can use it as a free trial, vmix.com. And you've got 60 days. If you have used vMix before, but you're not using it now, you probably won't be able to get the trial, but you might be able to email vMix and ask them to unlock a trial for you. If you already have vMix, if you purchased your vMix license sometime between now and January 2023, you should be able to update to vMix 28 for free. If you purchased your vMix license prior to January 2023, your initial purchase, not your update, but your initial purchase, you'll probably have to get an update, but an update is $60. And it gives you free updates for a year, which could include vMix 29. So there. Yeah. All right. Steel City said they had the Behringer interface, but they couldn't get it to work right. I got you. Yep. I understand. I feel your pain. And video is pretty cool. Video, it's either there or it's not, or it's bad. And there are, reasons for it, and you can tell. Audio just disappears and goes wherever the heck it wants. All right, Ed. Block diagrams for the win. There's an open source program called DIA that really helps straighten out some problems. Like what problems, Ed? Come on, you can't just leave us hanging like this. I mean, at least Steel City was able to, express pretty concisely. Conciseness. Concision. Is that even a word? Concision. Conciseness. To be concise. Concision. I've never heard it used in a sentence, but you never know. Yep. So what did I wish vMix 28 had that it doesn't have? Green screen room. Yeah, automatic green screen. Don't make me build it myself. I'm lazy and stupid. And I want to be able to do it. Raise your hand if you're with me. Yes. All right, right while we're here, let's go into the vMix forum, and I'm going to bring you along, and we'll do a screen capture of the other page. Yep, there we go. Oh, let's do a sharpen before we take it live. All right, and now we're going to go into the feature requests section, and we're going to search for, green room. There we go. I've already searched for it before. And we're searching, and we're searching, and we're searching, and I don't want to search in all forums. I just want to see the feature request forum, and I want to have 50 posts per page. Okay, now we've just got 2 pages. That means less than 100. So 9 months ago, somebody's asking about Zoom improvements. And then 9 months ago, a green room function for vMix call. Ah, there we go. So let's go back into that one. And posted 4 years ago. And then somebody bumped it. Somebody plussed it. This was 4 years ago. Somebody else plussed it 4 years ago. Somebody else plussed it 4 years ago. This is essentially what my feature request was all about some weeks ago. Well, let's open that one. We'll come back to it. 4 years ago, somebody, oh, that's me. Okay. 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 months ago. Oh, I plussed it again. With the addition of Zoom callers to the already impressive list of vMix call features, the next step is a polished green room feature. Well, there you go. We should really press the brain trust of vMix to create this. Yes, we should. Nick plussed it. K-Media plussed it. And, you know, K-Media says the same thing we all know, which is, hey, you can build it yourself, but it would be better if it was built for you. Let's go to the page 2. And, oh, there's me again. Since Zoom is now built into vMix, along with vMix Call, of course, it does make sense for vMix to implement its own solutions that solves all these audio issues that the new and intermediate vMix users may encounter, like me. A new green room feature would also attract new users that are looking for a more off-the-shelf solution while staying in the vMix ecosystem. And then me again. Yep. All right. And somebody has given some ideas of how this, then somebody set up some codes. And Nick said, I would like vMix to offer a green room. Yep, that was 9 months ago. And so 9 months ago, it hadn't had any activity in 9 months. So let's see if we can't stir the pot a little bit here. We're going to post a reply. We're going to say, with the new release of vMix 28, sounds like the green room is on deck for vMix 29. Well, it's not really, but we'll put a question mark there. So that was in the forums feature request called a green room function for vMix call. And I'm going to post that one. And then let's look at this other one. This is 4 years ago. And this is the same idea, but different people are posting it. Let's see how quickly it got updated. No, it died 3 years ago. Yes, please, plus 100, says somebody. Okay, so the idea is that you go to the vMix forum, which is forums plural, forums.vmix.com, go to the feature request section and +1 and let's create some discussion about the one that I just agreed to again, and see. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Is anyone using wireless tally lights along with the Hollyland transmitters? Well, there you go. There's the question. Is anybody using wireless tally lights along with the Hollyland transmitters? I'm not. Everything I do is, here in the studio. Ed says, sometimes Tom forgets how good he is. Ed, Tom always forgets. I live in the moment. I live in the moment. I live in the day. Today's the day. Better chroma key would be amazing. Green screen work sucks with vMix. More multi-boxes with transitions and with have also been nice. Would have also been nice. All right. So how would you like better chroma key? What about green screen is not working? Is it a hardware problem or a software problem or an operator problem? Or animations? What is the best GPU for 5 encodes? Well, Otis. What resolution? What frame rate? What destination? What's your bandwidth? The biggest, baddest, most expensive GPU is going to be the best. I guess that's the 4090 Ti until the 5000 series really come out. Supposedly they're going to be, half the price of the 4000. We'll see. Now we're talking. Especially women with curly hair doesn't work best, even with great studio lights. Watch the folks on the television that do chroma key in their shows, especially news shows, and maybe like, some studio sports shows, that kind of stuff. They're using a lot of chroma key. And you look at those people, and they never have frizzy curly hair. None of them. None of them do. Why? Because of the limits of chroma key. Everybody has a good flat do with no stragglers. Now, I've got stragglers. You just can't see them because I have used, what's the feature called? Oh, darn. Let's look out and see. Color, chroma key. I've used the anti-aliasing feature, which kind of smooths out my hair and kind of makes it a little fuzzy on the side. That's still a picture back there, by the way. That's still green screen back there. That's not, I don't know why it's like that. Let's see if we can, layers, position, layers. Green screen. Did we crop it? No, we didn't crop that one. Oh, is this the main? No, we're in post show. Okay. Virtual post show. 15. Layers. Edit. No. That's number 1. Effects, layers, post show lower third, 26. What is 26? 26 is right there. That may be the problem. Color key. Triggers, layers, position. Main. Nope, that's not it. Well, not sure. Excuse me. I forgot to put my cough button on. Steel City says they use the ultimate. Our customers are not TV reporters. No, that's true. But they have to understand the limits of the technology that you're working with. It's just not going to be perfect. I mean, if they're expecting perfection, they're going to have to pay more than what they're paying already. Because you can't expect a $1,200 tool or a $700 tool or a $350 tool to do what people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on their tools to do. And, you and I can't promise that we can make it look exactly as good as the people that are using, the multi-$100,000 equipment. It's just not going to work. There are limitations, and we have to operate within those limitations. Now, I know you say you want vMix to have a better green screen, better chroma key, but look out there. Do you see another product that can do live video chroma key better? That's not a, that's not a, what would you call it? It's not a carefully controlled studio environment, where the studio environment is what's making the green screen look better. Yeah. All right, Otis says 1080p, 5994, 4.5 megabits to 5 encoders. That would be interesting to set up as a test, Otis. You know, if the destination is, well, regardless of the destination, I was going off on an AV1 rant, but I don't think that'll help because AV1 adds a little bit more, requires a little bit more horsepower in your PC. I think you should be able to do that. I would think a 3080 Ti or better. You want to play with that one day? You got some time. We can play with it. Or you know, you can play with you if you've got a pretty good video card, I'd say an 80 or better. So that would be a 1080, 2080, 3080, or 4080. Maybe a 4070 Ti or 4070 Super. And just see. Yep. Yep. Yeah, you got to love a green halo, but you know, that's something that a backlight will fix. I mean, right now, this is a chroma key. And you don't see a green halo on me. Even though my gray hair is kind of shiny. It looks just like a silly picture in the background. I'm not quite sure why it looks that way. That's why it does. Because the background is showing through. Interesting. Interesting. But what if I did this one? There we go. Even then, you can see some sparkles there. Those sparkles are the individual hairs. Now that screen back there is not particularly well lit. You know, that's a big part of it. And if you're looking at this on a big screen TV, you'll see, you know, some jagged edges there, and that's just the nature of the cloth. Yeah. Which streaming settings for YouTube do you use, or do you use hardware encoders? I use a vMix hardware encoder, which is an encoder that's built into my graphics card, my NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. And vMix does that automatically. But my streaming settings today are going to YouTube, so I'm using the AV1 codec, which allows me to kind of cut my bandwidth in half. So it's AV1 1080p, 8 megabits per second, and the audio is 128 kbps. And that's going to YouTube through a custom RTMP server that I've been using, the same one for years. And I just, I don't have to update the stream key. I use the same stream key. I just create a new destination in YouTube each time. So, yep. But, you know, back to the green screen discussion. Some of it's the camera. Some cameras don't do good green screen. Some greens don't do good green screen. Some lighting doesn't do good green screen. Some PCs don't do good green screen. And I've done green screen for years, and I've done it badly for most of that time. I will play with 4070 Ti and 6 gigabytes of RAM, 6.2 gigahertz. Yeah, there you go. The hardest part for me, Otis, is coming up with 5 destinations. I'm thinking about, okay, I've got my YouTube page. I've got I guess I've got a couple of other YouTube pages I could go to, and Facebook, and I guess I could go to X, if X is still doing that. I was hoping, at one point LinkedIn was experimenting with live streaming, and they shoulda, coulda, woulda, really shoulda finished it, but I don't think they ever did. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So the Brits are here. Welcome, Joe. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. This is Joe DeMax of Central Control fame. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Joe, I have a client that will be getting a hold of you guys at some point to get Central Control so they can take their TriCaster 3-play control surface and use it with a vMix PC I'm building for them. I've still got the files from the last time I did it, but I thought I'd point them to you guys directly because I'm not as familiar with it as I should be. But glad to have you. Hope you're doing well. All right, are you using 2 computers? No. Right now I'm using one to stream and the same one to switch, and one does everything. And I've built a portable one with the screen built into it that does the same thing. In fact, we sell those. We build and sell those. But I did take, I found a 12-year-old vMix Go, which is very rare. vMix actually produced hardware for a short period of time back in 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that. And I found one on eBay and bought it, and then basically gutted it. New power supply, new motherboard, new processor, new RAM, liquid cooling, and it's capable of doing all this. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. All right, Aziz is using Blackmagic 6K Cinema Pro. Would you recommend hardware encoders? You have one already? Yeah, go for it. What is it? Are you doing 1080p or are you doing 4K? Are you using vMix to do this, and you're sending an output from vMix to the video? It's all a matter of it's all a matter of testing. I can give you the best advice as if I really knew what I was talking about. I could give you the best advice in the world, but every system is a little bit different. Every location is a little bit different. And I don't use the Blackmagic 6K Cinema Pro, so I wouldn't have a clue what the pluses would be, what the drawbacks would be. It would just be a matter of testing. And then when you're done testing, more testing. And when you're done with more testing, you get my idea. One guy, one PC, one awesome broadcast. That's what I said 12 years ago. And the broadcasts were not awesome. They were awful, but they were fun. Yeah, I think this summer will be 13 years that this show has been going live. How many guys are actually streaming 4K right now? Well, 4. No, I'm teasing. A bunch of folks. A bunch of folks are. But again, they're using a lot of horsepower in their PC. Because remember, 4K is 4 times the amount of data as 1080p. And 4K 60 is 8 times the amount of data of 1080p 30. But if you look at ESPN, major sports networks, even news networks, they're not doing 4K. I mean, you can pay extra and get a 4K, but their general stream that's on available online and through, YouTube and all that other stuff, or YouTube TV, or cable networks, that's all 720p 60. You have to pay for extra package to get the 4K. But if most of your viewers, I'd say at least, maybe not most, but maybe a third, if a third of your viewers are watching on a large format, 65-inch big screen or something like that, or bigger, 4K will look really, really good for them. But 1080p 60 will still look good. I would say if 50% of your folks are watching on large format, then yeah, you need to go to 4K. But if it's less than a third, if they're watching on their phones, they're watching on their tablets, they're watching on their PC, you don't need 4K for that. It's overkill. 720 is overkill. My phone, I can see the difference between 480 and 720, but it's not a lot. And I can't see the difference on my phone between 720 and 1080p. Great discussion, though. "23 guests today." All right. All right, Ed, you need to talk to talk to Aziz. He uses his videos still. He also uses an AGA that streams and records and has a web interface. They are helpful. And I'm a vMix only guy. I'm not smart enough to do the stuff Ed does. Steele said, he says, all the school stuff we do is 1080p 60. That is hugely acceptable. Hugely acceptable. Because it's the content that people want. All right, Aziz says, to vMix, I'm only sending a 2K video signal and streaming full HD, but already using all video outputs. That's why I don't use hardware encoders yet. All right, well, vMix has got, let me just double check. vMix Pro has got 4 outputs. So if you've got a Blackmagic card that's capable of doing outputs, you can send them over that. It's also got 2 full screen outputs. So that would be HDMI or DisplayPort out of your monitor. 2 your hardware encoders. So, yeah. Otis says, LiveX did a comparison versus hardware encoders. vMix stood on its own. Really? I missed that. Yeah. The LiveX guys, I think, I may be wrong on this, but I think they consulted with vMix on the vMix hardware line way back when. The vMix Goes and the vMix 1. And I think somehow they were involved in that, but I could be wrong. Already using 2 TVs and monitors. Well, okay. Well, what about hard outputs on Blackmagic cards? What about NDI outputs? Do you have an encoder that'll take an NDI input? Oh my gosh, funny story. I was out at NAB last spring and stopped by the JVC booth and was surprised to see vMix running on one of their systems. And so I asked the booth babe about it. She didn't know anything. I mean, she was just like, yeah, it's a computer and it's got this. I said, well, tell me about the software. You know, how does it interface? How does it make all that stuff work? And she didn't have a clue. And I was like, tell me about instant replay. Don't know anything about it. But there's somebody here that does. They'll be back in an hour. I said, okay, I'll come back in an hour. So I came back in an hour to talk with the guy. And the guy didn't know squat. They're just selling boxes. You know, they got specs somewhere, and they're buying vMix from the nationwide, you know, under the covers distributor. So they're buying it for 40% off or something like that, and they're putting it in their box, and they don't have a clue. But they have a name. They have the JVC name, and they have the channel. So they're people that would not buy from me because I'm just a guy. But they'll buy from JVC because JVC is a major corporation. And certainly all the major corporations are going to stand behind their equipment and know how that stuff works. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I actually reached out to the distributor here in the US that, probably not the only one, but one of the ones that distributes for JVC, and asked them, you know, if they would approach JVC and see if JVC needed some help on the vMix end, because I'd be happy to do that. I mean, you know, I'm all about vMix stuff. And never heard a word. You know, they were, perhaps they've figured it all out. But the JVC box is not a bad box, but it's outdated already. You know, new hardware comes out, new CPUs come out, you know, new vMixes come out, and you want the ability to make it work. And it's a box. You know, that's the beauty of what we do, is that everything we do is customized. So if Aziz wants, you know, 4 outputs in addition to his 2 monitors and 2 TVs, we'll give him 4 outputs in addition to his 2 monitors and 2 TVs. Yep. It's fun. All right, one more question. Last Friday, had to get SRT from a different location. Didn't get it to work because of the IP restrictions. Oh, yes. The IT guys didn't have a clue what SRT was. Yeah, it's not the world they live in. I mean, don't be too critical of them. They just, yeah. They're not video guys. You know, they're network guys. They're hardware guys. They're security guys. You know, the bottom line was all they had to do was open up a few ports and it probably would have worked. Markup. I know that the distributor, because I can buy the JVC boxes, and my price is 20% off of list, whatever list is. You know, if it's 5,000, then my price is 4,000. You know, the markup, somebody is building the boxes for JVC. They're not building them themselves. There's probably just not enough market for them to, you know, dedicate a factory to build them at this point. There might be in the future. So they probably have a builder, not somebody like me, but somebody that you know, bills under contract for folks. And they're probably building them for 40% off list. And selling them to JVC, and JVC is selling them for 20% off list. If JVC is getting a sweetheart deal, they're buying them for 50% off list and selling them for 20% off list to people like me. But you know, they're probably making deals when they're selling direct. They're making deals of probably 10, 20, maybe more off, depending on how they're buying. Yep. And generally, I would think those PCs are part of a bigger system. You know, I know that JVC is doing vMix PCs for a big scoreboard company that puts scoreboards in stadiums. and the JVC PC is supposed to be the replay portion of it. So that all comes together as a package. You know, and JVC, I think, supplies the cameras and now supplies the PC to go with the video board. But you know, when it comes to the end user, it's just one number. So who knows how they figure it out? Yeah, it's interesting. Well, you're welcome. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's always interesting. And you guys are always doing different cool things and pushing the envelope a little bit. It's fun when it happens like this. Yes, it is. Well, I have got to go make Ms. Sinclair happy by taking her shopping. So I'm going to take the rest of the day off. You could do me a huge favor and help me with my YouTube algorithm by doing the like button. You're probably already subscribing, but doing the like button, that would be cool. Oh, got one more question. Wendy's, anyone using BM deck links these days? Me? I mean, not right now in my PC, but the systems we build almost always have a Blackmagic card in them. The DeckLink mini monitor, DeckLink mini recorder, DeckLink Duo 2, DeckLink Quad 2, DeckLink 8K, what's the DeckLink 8K card named? Yeah, good little card. Good little card. And you're welcome. The Blackmagic just released a new video driver for the DeckLinks yesterday, day before. And it may have had to fix a bug. Was it the 6K card that it fixed a bug in? Let's look. Support, capture and playback. Okay, DeckLink desktop video 14.4.1. Okay, the update has the following bug fix for the DeckLink 8K Pro Mini, which fixed a playback incompatibility in the Gen 5 PCIe slots. So yeah. So no. But I think Blackmagic has done a much better job on their drivers than they did, say, 10 years ago. The latest drivers aren't showing in vMix 26. What could it be? Have you updated the driver? Have you used what is the Blackmagic Media Express to see if you can see the cameras? If you can't see the cameras with Blackmagic Media Express, it means it's not a vMix problem. It probably means it's a Blackmagic problem. Could be a driver problem. And when you say the latest drivers, what drivers are you thinking about? There is one driver, and it has a number. And they show up in 27. Well, now that's curious. Wow. Wow. Good old Vid Blaster. Gee, many. You got to try vMix. I was a VidBlaster reseller back in the day. And yeah. Oh, you're just kidding. You're just... But of course, there you go. Didn't show the cards. Huh. Sometimes, one of the things that Blackmagic has gotten better about in recent years is updating the card's firmware when you update the driver. And it doesn't happen all the time. I'm not quite sure how it triggers it. But if you ever get a little teeny pop-up from Blackmagic wanting to update the firmware in the card, let it do it. Let it do it. I had a situation this morning where a PC that I was building I'd already tested it out of the box. I mean, out of the case. And because I build it all and do everything out of the case, so I make sure everything works, and then I put it in the case and test it again, and the cards didn't work when I put them in the case. And come to find out that the motherboard standoffs were too short, and the cards weren't making full contact with the PCIe slots. But that was a brand new build. It's not something that's likely to happen to you guys. You can see them in Express. Okay. Well, something with 26 is not happy, but I wouldn't be using 26 anyway. Well, I like you too, Otis. vMix also put in a fix in version 26. Let's see if I can find it. That, and I'll take you along with me here. Let's go to download free trial. And then we're going to go back to release notes for 28, release notes for 27. It's not going to be there, I don't think. Let's look in forums, general discussions. No, I want to find the vMix 27 changelog. No. Was it here? vMix 27, download vMix 27. Release notes for 26. Yeah. Don't know where the changelog is. But in vMix 27, which I'm sure is included in 28, vMix did do a fix that was specific to some Blackmagic cards, or some Blackmagic drivers that were having problems. And I don't remember what the problem was now. But yeah, I don't remember. I wish I could remember. It was something to do with drivers, like in the 13 and 14 line, that were having problems, not just with vMix, but with everybody. So if you were to try 14.4.1 now, that might give you a work. Gotcha. What is Windows 11? I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. Well, of course. Always keep the latest, greatest. Always, unless there's a reason not to. Update your Blackmagic drivers, update your video card drivers, and update vMix, and most of all, update Windows. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble. Loved hanging out with you guys. Let's do this again next week, and I'll catch you then.